Being scared to death boils down to our autonomic response to a strong emotion, such as fear. For fear-induced deaths, the demise starts with our fight or flight response, which is the body's physical response to a perceived threat. This response is characterized by an increased heart rate, anxiety, perspiration, and increased blood glucose levels.
Scientists have identified the maximum mix of heat and humidity a human body can survive. Even a healthy person will die after enduring 6 hours of 35 degrees Celsius warmth when coupled with 100% humidity. But new research shows that threshold could be significantly lower.
Ask bacteria where they'd like to live, and they'll answer. A kitchen sponge. Please, sponges are micro-paradise, capable of housing 54 billion bacteria per cubic centimeter. In addition to being damp, airy and loaded with food scraps, sponges provide an optimal physical environment for bacteria. Researchers report February 10 in Nature Chemical Biology.
Experiential purchases are also more associated with identity, connection, and social behavior. Looking back on purchases made, experiences make people happier than do possession.
One of the strangest things about tickling is that it's pretty much impossible for a person to tickle himself or herself. The reason you can't tickle yourself is that when you move a part of your own body, a part of your brain monitors the movement and anticipates the sensations that it will cause.
As oil becomes increasingly difficult to find, the search for it is extended into more hostile environments. The development of the oil field on the north slope of Alaska and the construction of the Alaska pipeline are examples of the great expense and difficulty involved in new oil discoveries.
In addition to exploring the possible antecedents of theater, Scholars have also theorized about the motives that led people to develop theater. Why did theater develop, and why was it valued after it ceased to fulfill the function of ritual? Most answers fall back on the theories about the human mind and basic human needs. You ought to know what to do to help a person who is choking. First, you stand behind the choking victim and put your arms around his or her waist. Second, you make a fist and place the thumb side against the person's stomach just above the navel, but below the ribs.
Watershed stores rainwater once it filters through the soil. Once the watershed's soils are saturated, water either percolate deeper or run off the surface. This can result in freshwater aquifers and springs. Also, water moves through the soil to seeps and springs and is ultimately released into streams, rivers, and the ocean.
The basic premise in the management of any system is the ability to minimize risk. In the context of an ecosystem, one of the important questions is the integrity of the environment and how this integrity is compromised by management with mismanagement in ecosystems. The risk of permanent damage to the environment is very high.
The bill calls for the establishment of the National Landslide Hazards Reduction Program within 1 year of becoming law. The program serves numerous functions, including to identify and understand landslide hazards and risks, reduce losses from landslides, protect communities at risk of landslides hazards, and improve communication and emergency preparedness.
Agricultural problems due to climate change of normal weather, water depletion, and the collapse of soil have become big problems in all parts of the world. Many are now focusing on ethics and family farming as a way to combat these issues.
An innovative new product or service can give a firm a head start over its rivals, which can be difficult for a new entrant to overcome. If the new technology is also patented, then other firms cannot simply copy its design. It is legally protected.
A community's urban force is an extension of its pride and community spirit. Trees enhance community economic stability by attracting businesses and tourists as people tend to linger and shop longer along tree-lined streets. Apartments and offices in wooded areas rent more quickly, and businesses leasing office spaces in developments with trees reported higher productivity and fewer absences.
The networks of roots that plants use to absorb water and nutrients can encompass a space larger than the part of the plant visible above ground. The nature of these root systems can help plants adapt to challenging environments such as deserts. For instance, mesquite trees can develop taproots capable of digging more than 50 yards deep to reach water.
Within this free course, you will be introduced briefly to the discipline of child psychology and to theories and approaches that have been developed to help us understand and support children's lives by focusing on the individual children. Psychologists can assess changes in their child's abilities over time, including their physical, cognitive, social, and emotional development. The course considers the ways in which thinkers have responded to the particular political problems of their day, and the ways in which they contribute to a broader conversation about human goods and needs, justice, democracy, and the proper relationship of the individual to the state.
Statistics are indicators of change and allow meaningful comparisons to be made. Why it may be the issues rather than the statistics as such that grab people's attention, it should be recognized that it is the statistics that informed the issues. Statistical literacy, then, is the ability to accurately understand, interpret, and evaluate the data that inform these issues.
380 years after his death, William Shakespeare remains the central author of the English-speaking world. He is the most quoted poet and the most regularly produced playwright, and now among the most popular screenwriters as well. Why is that, and who is he?
At a time when stress levels are soaring, rates of depression are increasing, and the gap between rich and poor is ever widening, we believe that giving can play a positive role in helping people to feel connected to those around them and generate a sense of purpose and hope. When we give, we feel valued, useful, and happy.
Your tutor helps you make the most of your time at university by giving you guidance and support along the way. All new students are allocated a personal tutor who will encourage you to get the most out of your course, direct you to other sources of support, and help you achieve your goals.
To some extent, attendance at cultural venues and events is influenced by a person's age and the composition of the household in which they live. For example, those people in households with dependent children were more likely to visit zoological parks and aquariums than people living in single-person households.
Your body is nearly 2/3 water, and so it is really important that you consume enough fluid to stay hydrated and healthy. If you don't get enough fluid, you may feel tired, get headaches, and not perform at your best.
Rarely, however, does a single research study produce the certainty needed to assume that the same results will apply in all or most settings. Rather, research is usually an ongoing process based on many accumulated understandings and explanations that, when taken together, led to a generalization about educational issues and practice, and ultimately to the development of theories.
The tortoise size and shell shape varies depending on where they live. The shell is made of bone and is a dull brown color. Their ribs, backbone and breastbone have become part of the shell, which is why you can never separate the tortoise from its shell.
Venture capitals and public funding authorities need to carefully consider the incentive issues of entrepreneurs when providing support. In allocating resources to potentially competing innovators, there is a trade-off between the risk of innovation failure and rent dissipation. Diverse investment lowers the risk of having no successful innovation but also reduces the expected profit from the post-innovation market.
Smart cities are emerging as major engines for deploying intelligent systems to enhance urban development. Developing economies facing rapid urbanization and technological change through cities are being built with smart technologies and ideals, complete with business districts and residential facilities to entice businesses and talents to relocate. Governments tout the potential of such greenfield smart cities for innovation and sustainability.
China's Belt and Road Initiative is enhancing development prospects and creating new business opportunities in Asia, one of the world's most dynamic regions. Announced in 2013, it is an ambitious plan to promote economic cooperation with countries around the world that has increasingly defined mainland China's global engagement. The official goals are to promote connectivity and policy coordination, facilities connectivity, unimpeded trade, financial integration, and people.
After a pandemic with major social and economic consequences, emerging and developing countries need to swiftly address a two-pronged policy objective: sovereign debt sustainability and being able to fund investment, especially investment with high economic and social returns. So far, the international community has alleviated the liquidity strain among developing countries and quickened the mobilization of financial resources.
Many stakeholders are concerned that Hong Kong is losing its competitive edge. A recent research report finds that non-positive interventionism no longer works and Hong Kong's research funding model needs improvement. Hong Kong should rejuvenate technology development through high-level government leadership by informing government decision-making with professional and technical expertise, nurturing human capital and technological talent, and facilitating innovation collaboration.
consultants are generally brought in on the important decisions that are vital to the future of the company, to make sure that every angle is considered. They can devote themselves entirely to the question at hand, while executives are normally busy with the actual running of the company. Consultants also have deep expertise in a particular industry or subject, such as market positioning or restructuring.
Standardization is the process of developing, promoting, and possibly mandating standards-based and compatible technologies and processes within a given industry. Standards for technologies can mandate the quality and consistency of technologies and ensure their compatibility, interoperability, and safety. A lack of standardization often manifests in large numbers of incompatible proprietary formats for a given technology and for technologies that must interoperate.
Commercial satellite imagery is currently in a sweet spot, powerful enough to see a car, but not enough to tell the make and model, collected frequently enough for a farmer to keep tabs on crops' health, but not so often that people could track the comings and goings of a neighbor. Federal regulations limit images taken by commercial satellites to a resolution the length of a shoe.
The most common peptic ulcer symptom is burning stomach pain. Stomach acid makes the pain worse, as does having an empty stomach. The pain can often be relieved by eating certain foods that buffer stomach acid or by taking an acid-reducing medication, but then it may come back. The pain may be worse between meals and at night.
When you have selected a topic, you will first have to familiarize yourself with the topic in order to clarify it. In this way, you will get a clear idea of all aspects concerning the topic, definitions, facts, and theories. You will get to know related terms and concepts, the context, and the various possible ways of approaching the topic.
The wonderful framework of mature trees creates a secluded, enclosed atmosphere that unites a great variety of plantings to inspire visitors in all seasons. Spring in the garden is marked by leafing up and flowering of trees and the eruption of the flowers in the bulb meadows and woodland understory.
Films can be compelling when used well. They have the power to change people's perspectives and outlook on life. When we consider it in education, it has become one of the ideal teaching methods for various reasons. It helps motivate learners to be more productive and look on a positive side of life.
Locomotion underpins a limitless array of animal behaviors and can be a rich source of inspiration for the design of modern machines. Movement requires mechanical interaction with the physical environment to monitor and control musculoskeletal systems that may be complex with many degrees of freedom. Recent advances in robotics have proven to be powerful in broadening our understanding of how animals run in a controlled manner.
Beauty is subjective, and as such it of course cannot be defined in absolute terms. But we all know or feel when something is beautiful to us personally, and in such instances, methods of physics and network science can be used to quantify and help us better understand what it is that evokes that pleasant feeling.
Climate change and biodiversity decline are major challenges of our time. Both are predominantly caused by human activities, with profound consequences for people and the ecosystems on which we depend. Some actions we can undertake are beneficial in both areas, helping to mitigate and adapt to climate change as well as conserve and restore biodiversity.
For centuries, the study of biological processes has inspired fundamental mathematical developments, while mathematical analyses have been instrumental in developing a mechanistic understanding of biological observations. This fruitful cross-fertilization has gained momentum over recent decades, thanks in part to extraordinary technological advancements in the biological sciences, as well as the rising availability of larger-scale computational
Digital art can be computer-generated, scanned or drawn using a tablet and a mouse. Thanks to improvements in digital technology, it is possible to download video onto computers, allowing artists to manipulate the images they had filmed with a video camera. This gives artists a creative freedom, allowing them to cut and paste within moving images to create visual collages.